Hi, I'm Dan Whittaker. I'm here today to speak to you about the swing of Rory McIlroy. Going to analyse it and hopefully shed all the positive to Rory's swing and a few of the deficiencies which have actually just shown up in this last week in the wind at Dubai. So, what we'll do is we'll first of all have a look at the golf swing from down the line. Now, when we actually see it from down the line here, we see that Rory takes it away a little bit with his hands here. Okay, it's pretty close to being very one piece. Gets a very wide takeaway, and the club head is definitely way outside the hand. And the triangle between the upper arms, the shoulders, and the club has been maintained to this in this first move. Now, what he's doing from here then is he continues to wind up, okay, but he employs a slight sway load in the backswing. Okay, we'll have a look at his backswing from a rear view here, which are just sliding in now. And we're going to see how he makes a slight lateral move off the golf ball here. So now, as he's gone off the golf ball a little bit here, his right hip's gone up a touch on too much of an angle, and he gets some run on at the top. Now, the run on at the top is essentially when the shoulders stop turning, the arms should be stopping moving at the exact same moment. So when the shoulders stop, the club should stop. That it would signify that it's an in-sync golf swing. Now what we see here is, here's the end of Rory's turn about there. So we see the left shoulder stops. We see the arms run on to here. Now this run on, along with this slight sway load that he's got, causing some issues when it comes into the downswing. Because once you've sway loaded off it and you've let the right hip go high, you've got to do something to make the arms catch back up with the body, so that you're striking the ball, with everything together or in one movement at impact. From down the line here, we again see here's where the club would be stopping, say in sync there, and it runs on to here, so it's long. And at the same time, as the right hip's gone high, the upper body's slightly tilting toward the target. And at this exact same moment, we've got this right elbow right here. He's stuck a little bit behind the body. It's not in front of his body right here. It's not in the sort of position that you would see Hunter Mahan being in at the top, Hunter being a great driver of the golf ball. But what we'll do is we'll just put the two side by side so that you can see the difference in the synchronization and the arm position at the top. Okay, it's slightly different camera angles, but you're seeing that it's a much shorter backswing there from Mahan than it is from McIlroy, and the arms have run on a lot further with McIlroy, and the arms are a bit more behind his body. Now, what we're going to see from here is, because this hip's a little bit high and the arms have run on, he then starts down with a very aggressive lower half rotation stemming from the hips. Okay, and what he's doing is from here now he's actually technically stuck a little bit on his right side. Now I've read in a lot of magazines and articles and things on the TV that I've seen, people saying that McIlroy's power comes from a double hip shift. Now, unfortunately, this is pretty false information that's being provided by some of the analysts. Because when we have a look here, you have to be able to get over your front foot or over your left pivot point to be able to turn around it. Now we can actually see with the width of Rory's stance, okay, he's made a transition here, but this left hip is nowhere near over the left pivot point. It's still way behind it. Okay, so what he does now is, as he's turning quite early, and he's spinning out of it. Okay, so he's actually technically stuck a little bit on the right side. This is really evidenced when we have a look at it from this ahead view. From here we see how McIlroy very quickly starts his turn out. So he squats down, loads a lot of power this way. So he's kind of made this a slight transition, but because of the sway load, he'd have to make a really big lateral drive to get over the left pivot point. He doesn't. He kind of squats and he's behind the left pivot point. Now he's unwinding, but he's unwinding on the right side, or off his right side. So we see how he's actually still stuck behind it, and it's the stall of the hips to let the arms catch up that makes it look like a double hip turn. It isn't a double hip turn. If it was measured on a K-Vest or any of these 3D motion analysis systems, it would appear like a double hip turn because of the stall. But the stall is there to allow the arms to catch back up because they're out of sync at the top of the backswing. We see it very evidenced here. We see how he's made a weight transfer, but he's also aggressively turning the hips. Now this is really seen a lot in how quickly this right foot explodes off the floor. So we see this right foot up off the floor, and now as he comes into impact, he's trying to fight for some room, and as we can see, he's backing out of it, because if we watch this left heel, it comes off the ground and then turns towards the target. We draw a line on it right here. Here's the outside of the left foot. Now we take it coming in pre-impact, and now he's backing out. See how that left heel spins back. So at the moment of just in those few frames after impact, it's moved from where the yellow line is to where the red line is right here. So it's actually moved backwards about 2 to 3 inches. So this is evidence of a stall and working backwards. So he's actually, his weight's technically going back, but that's to make room for the golf club because he's behind it and he's stalling. So as he stalls, the arms will have to explode away. Now, I firmly believe that he's very close to having one of the most complete golf swings in the world. But it's this synchronization issue of letting the arms run on at the top and letting the right hip get up high in the backswing, then causing him that he can't then transfer his weight over the left side. Therefore, he ends up stuck staying back on his right side as everything spins through the shot. We see here, in this very close-up view from the rear of him now. Okay, he's now coming down, his arms are tracked on, as we see the shoulders stopped. There, this is all arm run. So arms run on, body starts down towards the target. Okay, now, the club's stuck a long way behind him, so he keeps unwinding, but the arms are stuck behind him. We can see from here how the elbow is actually behind his hip, not on the front part of his hip. He then has to stall it and back out of it to make some room for the golf club. Okay, now this is causing him, like I say, a fair few issues, and these are the timing issues that tend to show themselves up in the wind, because as his swing gets long in the wind and he's rocking off it and then having to time the arms coming through like he is doing here, where we see the run on, here's the spin, the arms are stuck behind, and then he's just fighting to make some room. His timing just goes in the wind because he can't be reliant on the smooth tempo that he would employ in good weather conditions. He's therefore having to stall everything as he normally would, but the rhythm just tends to go a lot. Now, in my opinion, what he's going to need to try and do is to really try and shorten this backswing up a little here, but get rid of this movement in the hip of allowing that right hip to go up high. When we put Rory in next to Anthony Kim here, we're going to see how much more synced up Anthony is in the backswing than Rory is. Now, what we're going to see right here is we're going to take Anthony to the top of the golf swing. I'll just take Rory there at the top. See, the right elbow is so much more into the body. Everything's so much more synced up that the left shoulder stopped turning, the club stopped moving at the same moment. The club's across the line there with Rory, which it often is, just due to it getting so long. But as he starts down now, we see how this hip rotation is very aggressive. But we see where this right elbow is in this location right here behind the hip, which is here. Now we bring in Anthony at the same position, and you see the elbow and the hip are synced up together. They're more on top of one another. What this then means that Anthony can do is the arms are in front while the shaft attacking from the inside. Bang, he can hit it with everything together at impact without having to stall it out. Whereas what we're going to see here with Rory is that as Rory comes through, he's having to back it out and stall it. And once again, this elbow is behind the hip. If we pull this through to against Ben Hogan, we're going to once again see a very different look through the golf ball to Hogan with Rory. Although Rory has got a lot of elements of Hogan's swing in him, included in the phenomenal rotation, but what we're going to see is we don't tend to see any stall in Hogan. At this point, it's taking back Rory to the same point. See the golf club here, left arm's parallel to the ground, but we see how the elbow and the hip are together. Elbow, one's a long way behind the other. So what we tend to see with Hogan is how the two have remained very synced up through the golf ball, whereas with Rory we're tending to see how far back this elbow is coming into impact here, and how he's having to stall to try and get the arms back in. Hogan's not having to stall anything, and he can freewheel around it, whereas Rory's having to stall it and let the arms sling through, because we saw how these hips have turned, he's then stalled and then gone again to let the arms catch up, whereas Hogan's just been able to let everything keep freewheeling right through to the finish. When we compare them from the head right view right now, we're going to see it's quite evidenced here. Just pulling Rory in right now. Now, it's a very similar view here from ahead, and we see how Rory's attacking here and how he stalls and starts to back out of it this way. We start to see how this left shoulder's going up, right shoulder's going down, and kind of backing out into the back foot. With Hogan right here, so he's now over the left side and he's unwinding and never having to stall anything. Everything's moving through so much more, so he's over the left pivot point more and going around it, whereas Rory's more on the back foot and stalling out to allow these arms to catch up from the run on he exhibits. So he has this hang back look to the finish because he's trying to unload all the leverage and lag he's got from this long golf swing that's out of sync, whereas Hogan can literally let it all come through together. Now, I think that McIlroy is without doubt one of the great prospects in the game at the moment, but I firmly believe that until he shortens this backswing up and makes it a little shorter than it is here, because we see the left shoulder stopping there. Now this is all run on. Shoulder stops, this is all run on, doesn't get over it and backs out and has to chase. And we see how the front foot's moving in towards the back foot until he sorts these problems out. I don't think we're going to see the very best of him all of the time. I think it's going to be a little bit hit and miss. And when the timing's on, we're going to see it absolutely phenomenal. When it's off a little, and particularly in windy conditions like we've just seen in Dubai and last year at St Andrews, we're going to see the swing a little bit exposed until he starts to tighten up the mechanics a little bit. All in all, a phenomenal golf swing with great rotation, one of the modern golf swings out there with a lot of rotation involved in it, but just some tidying up that is needed in it. Now, I do hope you've all enjoyed the analysis today, and if you want to contact me, you can do at Dan Whittaker at btconnect.com. Thanks a lot.